This is Charlie Waller for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined for the first time by Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion Lerrone Richards. Lerrone, how are you doing?
I'm good, my friend. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Great to have you on the channel, and thanks for asking how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let's start off with the Tommy Langfords. We haven't obviously had you on the channel, like I've said. How would you assess your performance?
It's been a while, really, but assessing it, it was a decent performance for myself. Putting in consideration that I had not boxed in 13 months and going straight into a big fight like that, I think I've done alright. I'll give myself like a C. Yeah.
Sort of looking at moving forward, are you sort of looking for a couple of defences on the Commonwealth? Obviously, we know the fight with Clarke.
Yes.
That's right, isn't it? We'll come on to that in a little bit, but is it sort of, you want to defend the Commonwealth title a little bit?
Well, after I beat Tommy Langford, I got mandated to fight for the British title, and at that time, the champion was Zach Parker. For his own reasons, he decided to vacate the title. Maybe he felt like there was bigger fights out there for him. That's fair enough. And it come to a little bit of a standstill. I had to wait for the board to find a new opponent. And then Clarke come up. So I was like, okay, no worries. That's great. He's earned his shot. He's been around for a while. He's undefeated. So obviously the next step for me is the British title, and I will be putting my Commonwealth title on the line as well as a defence. So it'll be for the British and for the Commonwealth.
Now, around the time of the Langford fight, sort of before and afterwards, you were labelled as like one of the top prospects, top talents that this country has to offer. Does that, moving forward with all that, obviously winning the Langford fight, it's even built a bit more pressure. Do you feel any pressure with that label attached to you?
Well, for me, I kind of saw things a little bit different to where you say it, because I felt like I was sort of pushed to the side and no one wanted to really mention my name. Felt neglected. But the Tommy Langford fight gave me the opportunity to showcase a little bit of my skills so that the public and for people around the boxing circle could see exactly what I was all about, and I showed part of that. I feel now where people know what I can do, or they see parts of what I can do, people say there's a little bit more pressure on myself, but there's no pressure on me because I've always known I was this good, and I've always known that, you know, this time will come. So I prepared my mind, obviously I prepared mentally for this, so no, none of it phases me at all.
It's interesting where you say that you felt a little bit neglected, and I presume that's also because of the sort of inactivity that you had leading up to that fight. Now you're teamed up with S-Jam. Is that part of, Sam likes to keep his fighters active, I know.
Yes.
Is that sort of moving forwards, getting active? Do you think the next few fights could really sort of be your breakout fights?
Absolutely. I feel like I had a little bit of an injury, you know, hence why I was inactive. But then even prior to that, like, I've been looking for big fights for a long time, and it felt like, say, a fight will get mentioned to me and I'll be like, yeah, I'll take it. And then all of a sudden I'm in training camp for it. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm in training camp for it, and then, oh no, the person don't want to fight anymore. So for me it was just like, fights kept falling through. I want all these big fights, but they keep falling through. So I was basically sitting there on the shelf waiting for an opportunity. When the Tommy Langford fight came up, I took it straight away with both hands because that's what I've been looking for. You know, there's I know at the beginning of your career you need to fight and get experience of, you know, journeyman, etc., etc. But then I'm done with that. I don't need that no more. You know, I had a great, I won't say great, but I had a good amateur pedigree, and I feel like it was time for me to step up at the time, but I just couldn't get in big fights.
You mentioned Zach Parker, and obviously, like you said, he's vacated the British title.
Yes.
Do you think that's still a fight that you could potentially see within your next few fights?
Absolutely. I feel like, I know when people vacate titles and stuff, people think, you know, this person's scared of this guy, this person's scared of... You know, I never look into that. Boxing's a business, and Is that Parker feels vacating the title is better for him financially moving forward, then good on him. But of course, we're both moving in similar directions, and our paths will cross, absolutely.
Let's talk about Lennox Clarke. Obviously waiting on the date. What do you make of Lennox Clarke?
I don't really know much about Lennox Clarke, to be honest with you. I saw him like 2 years ago, because I went up to Leicester to watch a Frank Warren show, and I didn't know who he was really, but he said hello to me. I said hello back, so he seemed quite respectful. So I've got nothing bad to say about Lennox Clarke. You know, I know he's an undefeated fighter, strong, can box a bit, can fight a bit. That's all I know. But no, yeah, that's all I know really about Lennox Clarke, to be honest. Yeah, I ain't really looked too deep into it. Yeah.
How do you prepare for a fight then? Are you one of them fighters that watches a lot of tape on your opponent, or you like you're good friends with Buatso, if I'm
Yes, I am, yes.
He obviously watches the first round, middle round, last round. Do you like that? How do you prepare for a fight?
I will look at Lennox Clarke and I'll see what he brings to the table. But ultimately, when you're in the ring, it's being able to adjust. And I do that. I've got a talent, and I've got the ability to do that. Adjust. Yeah. So yeah, it's being able to adjust in the ring. People might show something different in tape, and then when they're boxing you, they come with a different tactic. So you got to be able to adjust. And I believe that when it comes to boxing matches, it's your skill versus your opponent's skill. And if your skill's better, you'll win. And that's how I see things. That's my philosophy.
You talk about obviously your talent, and like I said previously, that people have considered you as one of the best talents in this country. How, when did you realise that sort of boxing was what you wanted to do, that you had a natural talent for this?
I started boxing at 6. My dad used to take me to the local gym, Kingston ABC, where I was trained by Freddie Barr. He schooled me, he drilled me. You know, I give a lot of credit to Freddie Barr and my dad also, because they drilled me, and that's why I box the way I do. Very technical, a student of the game, I should say. And as time goes on, years go by, it becomes a routine. And at the beginning, it was just a hobby. Go to school, go to the gym, go to college, go to the gym, and then boom. It was something that, over time you just fall in love with without even knowing. And then since then, I haven't looked back. I've always boxed, I boxed most of my life, It's, I wouldn't say it's all I know, but it's something that will be with me for most of my life. So yeah, it's just, I've never looked back since.
Did you come from quite a big boxing family?
No, my dad done a little bit of Thai boxing when he was younger, but I'm the first boxer of the family. Really? Yeah, so yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about your link up with Best Jam. First of all, what was your decision behind obviously joining with Sam Jones and Adam O'Reilly?
Obviously initially I was managed by Francis Warren. They done a great job with me, got me the fights, got me the titles, and I'm forever grateful. But I felt like I needed something fresh, something new, and Sam Jones brings that to the table, and Adam, and I believe that with the team I have now, and Frank Warren, because Frank Warren still promotes me and he's a great promoter, pushes me on, and the sky's the limit.
Just to talk about your obviously past, I'm not sure how to word it then, your past management situations.
Yes.
In comparison to Sam, how would you compare it?
Well, I've just signed with Sam, so I can't really, I don't really have a comparison. With Frank, great job. Frank knows his business. He's been around his business for a long time. He knows his stuff. The previous manager, don't really want to talk about him. That is a different story, but to be honest with you, anyone that I sign up with now, if I did sign up with anyone else, would be better than the first manager. And that's a big statement, but it's the truth. I wouldn't sign my worst enemy to the first manager I was with. I'm not going to mention his name.
Okay, I won't push on that.
Well, you know, people know, so yeah, they're not silly.
But just obviously, where you're now linked up with S-Jam and sort of looking at that manager that you're referring to but won't name, was it, lost my train of thought now, was it, you appreciate obviously the team that you have around you now, like I said, Sam always tries to make his fights active, he's always looking to make the next big fight.
Yes, absolutely. And like I said, with S-Jam and Frank Warren working together, I'll be able to get the best fights at the right time. And that's why the future's bright. And you know, I just can't wait to see what the future holds.
You sparked quite a few people, Lerrone. But should we talk just a little bit? I know you've done it a lot, so I'll just obviously the Eubank Junior is a massive big story that came out.
Yes.
Just talk to me just a little bit about that Eubank Junior sparring session.
Well, I went down to spar Eubank for the experience, you know. At the time he was British champion. So I went down there to see, you know, what he was all about and to see what I was all about, you know, at that level. And let's just say the spar went in my favour. After that, we had a little altercation, and then we left the gym, and it just turned out Eubank's just some people might like him, some people don't. He just wasn't for me, you know. And you know, since then, obviously, I spoke to Billy Joe Saunders after. Must have been a couple of days after the spar, and then Billy Joe went and obviously told the media about it, and I've not. And no one's to ask me the question since. So you know, in other ways, it's a little bit frustrating on my side because I don't want to build. I never wanted to build my name off Chris Eubank Jr. I always want to do my own thing. But I'm sure if I move in the right direction and I keep winning and beat the right, say, fighters in the future, then you never know. You know what could happen. Maybe I might get the opportunity to actually show exactly what happened in that spar in a real fight.
How do you rate Chris Eubank Jr. then, having sparred him?
I rate him. You know, he's a strong guy. Like, he's strong, he can fight, and I respect him as a fighter. It's just as a person, he's never treated me well, so I can't respect him as a person, no. But he's a good fighter, he's a world-class fighter, and look, you can't, no matter what people think about Chris Eubank Jr., he's a world-class fighter, and anyone who says otherwise is just hating.
Sparred Billy Joe Saunders?
Sparred Billy, Callum Smith,
John Ryder,
Tony Bellew, yeah, sparred them all.
Let's, Billy Joe Saunders is, I'm pretty sure it's confirmed that he's fighting on the KSI Logan Paul.
Yes.
What do you make of that? First of all, just the KSI Logan Paul in professional ring.
I don't think anything's wrong with it. I feel like I actually bought the first fight because it was on YouTube. And to be honest with you, it wasn't a bad fight. Like, it wasn't a bad fight at all. Like, you see guys get brought over from different countries, right, to the UK, and you wonder how they got a license. But these guys here are much better than him. So what's the problem?
Do you think it's quite a key factor that KSI is trained by Vidal Riley?
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Briggs is training Logan Paul, I believe.
Yes.
Do you think obviously having actual professional boxers around as well will actually help that fight have a little bit more success in more success in the eyes of the boxing fans.
Yes. Well, when I watched the first fight, Logan Paul, his boxing, or the way he's shaped up, was quite good. As I can remember, it wasn't bad. He just ran out of gas. KSI was obviously the more fitter guy. He's quite rugged, quite strong. But they know what they're doing, like from the first fight. But then now they've got these fighters here now, like Logan Paul's got Shannon Briggs. Vidal Riley obviously is with KSI. I feel like it'll be more of a technical. They'll be more technical and more. They'll probably look more like pros in this fight. And also, there's no head guard, so they've got to be a bit more cautious and a little bit more smarter. So that will play a part too.
Okay. Callum Smith and John Riley sparred both of them.
Yes.
Rumoured to fight next, because obviously John Ryder is the mandatory for the WBO that Callum Smith holds.
Mm-hmm.
If that fight gets made,
yeah.
How do you see that fight going?
Do you know, I wouldn't really want to call that because I like John Ryder. I've done many rounds with John Ryder from when I was doing rounds with him at my debut, and I think I was helping John Ryder with the sparring when he was fighting Billy Joe Saunders at that time. And Callum Smith, I'd done a bit of work with Callum Smith when he was meant to box Bramer in the World Boxing Super Series, and they're both nice guys. I wouldn't want to call it, like I would say, the man with the better skills will win the fight.
Okay. Let's just talk about a couple of other fights I'd love to get your opinions on. Let's start with this weekend. We've got Quillin versus Alfredo Anguilo. How do you see that fight?
Oh, Peter Quillin will win that fight, yeah. Yeah.
How do you rate Peter Quillin's comeback at 168 pounds?
I think he's doing quite well. I think his last fight he got a draw, didn't he? With
no contest.
No contest. But yeah, I think he'll do well at 168 because he was quite a big middleweight. So he'll do quite well. He's quite ignored as well, to be fair. No one really talks about him. No one really talks about Peter Quillin as much as they should.
Yeah, I've got a written piece going out with him fairly soon. So
yeah,
should be good.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, I agree. He is. I don't want to say forgotten about. Like, I think that's completely the wrong word because he's still perfectly relevant.
He's relevant, yeah. But no one talks about him.
Yeah, incredible guy to speak to. Next weekend we've got David Benavidez versus Anthony Jarrell. Yeah.
I rate Benavidez. I rate him very highly. Yeah, I rate him high. He's a good fighter. It's a good fight. Anthony Jarrell very strong. But I would say Benavidez will win that fight. Yeah.
Benavidez, okay. Yeah. On the main event of that night is Sean Porter versus Errol Spence Jr. How do you see that?
It's a harder fight than what people think, but Errol Spence, yeah.
Okay. Just to go back a little bit, over the weekend we had Tyson Fury versus Otto Wallin.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that fight?
To be honest with you, I never bought it.
No.
Was it on pay-per-view?
It was pay-per-view. Yeah.
I never bought it. I saw little clips on it on Instagram.
Okay.
Today. It looked like a war, like they were both going at it. I see a few pictures of Tyson Fury's cut, which was horrendous. But sometimes you need to win dirty, and that's what Tyson Fury done.
There's a lot of talk on the cut that if it was the other way around, the fight would have been stopped. Having seen the cut, do you think that would have been the case?
Yes, I'll be honest, yeah, I think so too. Boxing's a business. Do you know what I mean? Tyson Fury's got a fight lined up with Deontay Wilder. Why would they want to jeopardise that with a cut? Makes no sense, does it?
Well, let's just go back to yourself for a little bit. Some questions that may have popped up. Obviously the fight with Lennox Clarke. Do you have a sort of, you were with Sam the other night as we were speaking off camera about, have you any business discussed there?
What in terms of
fight dates?
We're looking at November. I believe Clarke's got a fight scheduled on the 28th of this
Next
month,
weekend,
September.
yeah.
So I think after that fight, then we'll be able to sort out a date for our belt.
Okay.
Until then, I'm just ticking over, just waiting on that date. But I'm a type of guy, I'm always in shape. I know a lot of people say I'm in shape. I live boxing, and I'm always in shape. So when the fight gets announced, and when I know the date, I'll just get deeper in training camp and make sure I'm fully prepared.
How do you see your career, let's say like the next year, so from now to the next year,
Yeah.
how would you sort of see your career? What would you like to do within the next year?
I haven't really thought about that, if I'm honest. I've just thought about getting the British and winning the British and the Commonwealth in 1 year with only 13 fights will be a huge accomplishment for myself and for my team, for my family. So that's all I've thought about.
Okay. Just a couple more fights that I think I did want to get your thoughts on. Just trying to think, sort of suiting me the weights. What did you make of the Eubank versus Ryder fight that was potentially going to happen? It obviously now looks like the Callum's going to fight Ryder. But
Yeah, I heard about it and I liked it. I thought it was a good fight. I felt Ryder would have won, to be quite honest with you. It's a shame they didn't get. It didn't happen. It's a shame. It would have been a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer that fight to the Callum Smith and Ryder fight.
Okay.
I'd rather see that fight I'd rather see Ryder fight Eubanks than Smith.
Okay, I think that is everything that I was trying to get. Can't think of any other fights that I wanted to get your thoughts on. Is there any that you can think of? I'm trying to think now. There was Canelo versus Kovalev, that was it.
It's a harder fight than what people think, but I feel that Canelo late.
Canelo late?
Yeah, Canelo late, I believe, yeah.
There was, I think it was Dan Raphael. I don't know if he was the first one discovered it, was just in one of our interviews, but he, if successful, he'll be the first fighter to win coming from 154 to 175, I believe.
Okay, to win, okay.
Yeah.
It's a big achievement, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Canelo's a good boxer. He's an all-round technician. Can fight inside, mid-range, long range. He's very good.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems that the guys in the higher weights, they don't have the skill sets to nullify what he does. So, of course, he can go through weights as he pleases.
Okay.
He can go through the weights as he pleases.
Okay, well, Lerrone, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's nice you coming down, yeah.
Look forward to doing many more interviews with you in the future. And,
Wicked, yeah.
Obviously look forward to hearing the news with your fight that's going to Langford Club.
Wicked. I just want to thank my sponsors,
Yeah, of course.
FCI Markets, Vanquish Iconic Limited. Mark Harris helps me out a lot. Steve Tadros helps me out a lot. Without them, let's just say boxing will be for me to do boxing and for me to pursue my dream, it'll be a little harder, be a little bit more harder. So thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much for speaking.
Yeah, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Cheers.